What happens when Singer, the masters of Porsche perfection, decide to build a 911 Turbo with over 700 horsepower? Well, you don't just get a fast car. You get a rolling love letter to engineering obsession. This isn't nostalgia with a boost. This is the DLS Turbo, and it's about to blow the doors off everything you thought you knew about air-cooled performance. If you know Singer, you know they don't just restore old Porsches. They resurrect them. This is a company built around a beautifully simple philosophy. Restore, reimagined, reborn. That tagline isn't just branding. It's a mission statement. Every car they touch is a love letter to the Porsche 911, reinterpreted with extreme attention to detail and often a borderline fanatical pursuit of perfection. A few years back, Singer unveiled the DLS, short for Dynamics and Lightweighting Study, and it shook the automotive world. Imagine taking a vintage 911 and rebuilding it with aerospace-grade materials, F1 level engineering, and the kind of craftsmanship that would make a Swiss watchmaker weep. That's what the DLS was, an effort to give the air-cooled 911 not just a new lease on life, but a new dimension altogether. But Singer apparently wasn't done dreaming, because now we have the DLS Turbo. Now here's where things get tricky. The word turbo carries some serious weight in Porsche lore. It's not just about power. It's about attitude, drama, and yes, even a little danger. So how do you add forced induction to an air-cooled icon without losing that soulful charm? That was the challenge, because with great boost comes great responsibility. Enter Williams Advanced Engineering. Yeah, the same people who know a thing or two about Formula One. Singer teamed up with them again to push the boundaries even further. It wasn't just about slapping on a couple of turbos and calling it a day. It was about extracting every drop of performance while keeping the spirit of the 911 intact. The result is a 700 horsepower masterpiece that doesn't just go fast, but also tells a story with every rev, every corner, and every glance in the rearview mirror. And that's where our journey begins, because this isn't just a car. It's an experience. Now, let's lift the lid, figuratively, of course, on what makes the DLS Turbo roar. At the center of this masterpiece lies a 3.8-liter flat-six engine. It's air-cooled, just like the classics, but don't let that fool you into thinking this is some quaint throwback. This engine is an engineering thunderbolt wrapped in nostalgia. Singer didn't just want power. They wanted character, immediacy. That feel, the kind that sends shivers down your spine at 6,000 RPM and full-body goosebumps at 9,000. Yeah, you heard that right. This engine revs beyond 9,000 RPM. That's race car territory. Actually, that's F1 territory. And in a road-legal 911, it is simply beautiful and glorious madness. Now let's talk turbocharging, because this isn't a laggy, whooshy 80s boost setup. Singer's gone for a twin-turbo configuration, which sounds pretty standard until you realize how they've done it. These turbos are paired with electric wastegates, which is simply tech that helps manage boost pressure with surgical precision. That means you get insane power and instant throttle response. There's no delay, no drama, just you, your right foot, and the next horizon. And keeping everything cool under pressure is an air-to-water intercooling system. It might sound like a technical footnote, but it's actually a big deal. It keeps the charge air temps low and consistent, which means the engine isn't just powerful, it's reliably powerful, lap after lap, mountain road after mountain road. And just when you think it couldn't get more intense, Singer throws in the kind of materials that sound like they belong in a spacecraft. Magnesium, titanium, and other lightweight exotics are used throughout. Why? Well, it's to shave grams because every ounce of weight saved is an ounce that doesn't have to be moved, stopped, or turned. What you end up with is over 700 horsepower of turbocharged fury. Yet it's delivered with such poise and precision, it feels less like driving a car and more like wearing one. This isn't just the heart of the beast, it's the soul too. If the DLS Turbo has a beating heart in that glorious flat 6, then its nervous system is where things get really sci-fi. Let's start with something that might sound small but makes a huge difference: precision boost control. Most turbocharged cars rely on old-school wastegates that work a bit like pressure valves, but Singer being Singer said, nope, not precise enough. So they brought in electric wastegates. What's the big deal though? Well, instead of waiting for pressure to build and then react, these things anticipate and adjust in real time. The result is practically no turbo lag and a buttery smooth power curve. It's like the boost knows what you want before you even press the throttle. Now, keeping that boosted beast cool is another challenge entirely. Forced induction engines run hot, especially when you're pushing past 700 horses and revving to the moon. That's why Singer went with an air-to-water intercooling system instead of just relying on outside air. This setup runs coolant over a heat exchanger, maintaining stable intake temperature no matter how long you're hammering it. The benefit is that you have sustained reliable power without heat soak ruining your fun. In short, it's what lets this engine breathe, like an athlete at peak performance, not one wheezing in the final lap. And then there's the transmission. It comes with a beautifully engineered 6-speed stick developed in partnership with Hewland. This isn't just a gearbox, it's an extension of your own will. Short throws, perfect spacing, and torque delivery that feels like the engine is hardwired into your spine. It's raw, it's mechanical, and it's one of the last great tributes to analog driving in a digital age. Of course, none of this would matter if the car weighed a ton. That's where Singer's obsession with lightweighting comes in. The DLS Turbo wears carbon fiber like a tailor-made suit. Body panels are carbon. Underpinnings are lightweight alloys, and even the engine internals have been trimmed with magnesium and titanium. All of it adds up to a car that doesn't just look fast standing still, it actually is fast in a way that feels effortless. So when you put it all together, the sharp boost control, the clever cooling, a sublime manual transmission, and a featherweight frame, you realize the DLS Turbo isn't just built to go fast, it's built to make you feel like the best driver you've ever been. Now let's take a moment to appreciate the art in this engineering, because while the DLS Turbo is a savage performer under the skin, on the outside it's absolutely stunning. Singer has always had a knack for blending reverence with reinvention, and this car is no different. It keeps that iconic 911 silhouette intact. That means you still get that instantly recognizable curve over the rear wheels, the upright windshield, the soft roofline, but if you look closer, and you'll see it's been subtly, beautifully reworked for purpose. Every line, every vent, and every panel has a reason for being there. The front bumper has been reshaped to optimize airflow without compromising that classic look. Air intakes and cooling ducts are tucked in with surgical precision. Nothing feels tacked on or out of place. It's like the 911 you remember from your childhood poster wall, but sharper, leaner, and clearly built for war. Then there's the rear spoiler, which is functional, not flashy. It's been sculpted to add downforce and improve stability when you're really pushing it. The effect is that at high speeds, the car feels planted, not floaty. This isn't about showing off, it's about staying in control when you're slicing through corners at full tilt. Step inside and you'll find that same philosophy at work. The cabin is minimalist, yes, but it's also pure luxury. Think bespoke leathers, hand-stitched to perfection, paired with exposed carbon fiber that reminds you this is still a machine built for performance. There's no clutter, no gimmicks, just the essentials, executed flawlessly. It's a driver's cockpit through and through. The seating position is spot on, the gauges are analog and gorgeous, the shifter falls perfectly to hand, and everything from the layout to the materials feels like it was designed by someone who actually drives. So what does it actually feel like to drive the DLS Turbo? Well, in short, it's like strapping into a thunderstorm with leather seats and a manual gearbox. That 700 plus horsepower flat six doesn't just shove you back in your seat. It surges, building boost with shock immediacy, yet never feeling violent or out of control. It's powerful, yes, but it's the kind of power that's been trained, disciplined, and taught some very refined manners. What's truly special though is how Singer manages to marry that explosive performance with something so analog and so tactical. The steering has that classic 911 feel, light at first, then progressively weighty as you carve into a corner. The manual gearbox is pure joy, mechanical, satisfying, and perfectly matched to the engine's frantic character. It's a car that talks to you constantly. Every rev, every downshift, every crackle from the exhaust is a message that says let's go. But don't mistake the DLS Turbo for just a straight-line monster. Thanks to Singer's obsessive weight saving and that clever suspension geometry, the handling is razor sharp. The center of gravity feels impossibly low. There's improved weight distribution all around, giving the car a sense of balance that even some modern supercars struggle to match. It grips, it pivots, and it dances through corners like it's reading your mind. And the best part, it's not some stripped-out track-only machine. This car is just as happy charging through a canyon road as it is cruising into a coffee shop on a Sunday morning. Singer has nailed that elusive sweet spot between daily usability and full-throttle madness. On track days, it's clinical and composed. On public roads, it's soulful and surprisingly civil, like a beast in a tuxedo. Driving the DLS Turbo is more than just an experience. It's a connection to the machine, to the road, and honestly to yourself as a driver. It reminds you why you fell in love with cars in the first place. So what do you think about this turbocharged masterpiece? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below.